to be at least be my.
Well, you got me. It's okay.
Jose, you sneaky bastard.
Yeah, right.
And we're live.
Okay, now that we're live. I tried to be sneaky.
Gotcha.
I had to call you. Someone said something really bad.
No,
All right.
do that with it.
Right. All right. We're here with another season of Hunters Hangout. It's season 3, episode 15, and we got an exciting crew. Let's hear it from them.
Yay!
Yeah!
All right.
Well, they're really exciting.
Come on, pipe that shit, pump it up or something.
Man.
Is this a live show?
That's right. Pump it up. Okay. Well, we got some. Oh shit. we got some prizes for. You been drinking? No. Anyways, we got some prizes giveaway. We got a year subscription of Hunt Topless magazine. We have. It's awesome. We have Froggy's Fog. We have a gallon net to give away.
Absolutely.
That's right. We have 3 downloads. Sam Haynes' Incredible Dark Carnival, which is totally awesome. And that will be given away tonight. We have, after this show, we have 2 episodes left. Don't miss a season finale. Don't miss last 2 shows. And we're going to hand it over to Jim and see what he's got to say.
I got something to say.
Oh, shit. His mic's frozen again.
Oh.
Yeah, I hear you. Push it up. Hey, before I get started, I will say the fact that, I would think that we would have some of the scariest people here tonight and not the scaredest people on tonight. Oh, man. Man, we got to wake them up, that's for sure.
Whoa.
Well, you know what? We had a little bit of a lineup change tonight, and I figured in honor of the fact that we've got the Chipman on tonight,
Chipman?
I needed to do. I have something I have to get. I got something I have to get off my chest.
It sounds like
It just has to happen.
They can't stop, won't stop.
That's right. We've got the Can't Stop, Won't Stop special episode edition tonight.
Woohoo!
No, I've got something.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Bring
I'm
it.
definitely
Tell
Rich Ham.
Oh!
I don't know.
Rich, you don't have to worry about me taking your
Dude,
spot.
I think he does it way better, dude.
Oh, God.
Don't ever try to imitate that again. We better move on.
But you know what? I do have something I gotta get off my chest. It just burns my ass that by no tomorrow I cannot not say something at some point in time. And I want to thank the Chipman. I did ask him before we started if I could say the Can't Stop, Won't Stop tonight.
Did we lose?
We really did lose him.
Something,
Beaver roast or something. I thought I was about ready to
No. Here's the deal.
Oh, he's back.
All right, here we go.
Here's the deal. We woke up, Jose, Brad, myself, Julie, Jamie, we all woke up to a bit of a surprise this morning. That surprise came from, and I'm not going to throw out any specific names.
We didn't wake up together.
Well, yeah, we didn't wake up together.
Jim and I did it. Jim and I did it.
That's
a good thing you didn't put 60 seconds on the clock there.
That's 120.
But no, we woke up this morning to a bit of a surprise to find out that apparently we were going to be in Michigan. Unbeknownst to us that we were going to be in Michigan, but there was, and I'm just going to say they call themselves the Michigan's premier horror destination, and they've got a special episode that's coming up this April up in Michigan, and come to find out, they decided to have an entire room called the Haunters Hangout.
That's
Imagine
right.
that. Not only was it the Haunters Hangout, it was also this logo.
Yeah.
How do you like that? Yeah. It was our logo plastered all over their stuff. Haunters Hangout. They even changed the name of the room this year and everything to the Haunters Hangout, charging people extra money to be able to go into it. So, with that being said,
That's wrong.
if you're really gonna go out there and
I'm going out there. He's frozen again.
and try to profit from
See,
it, you
that's
really
what
ought to know who you're talking to. Because when you've got 20,000 proud community together and stuff starts popping up like that, I think somebody's going to take notice. So
I am so going to tell you to be quiet again.
yeah. It's so, I'm telling you, the most aggravating thing I think I've ever seen. We've seen a lot of. It was probably the most blatant thing we've seen since Tara's Hell Horse got turned into a damn blow up. So
maybe they stole a sign from Transworld.
No, I did that.
No, we already know. We already went down that road. Now I will say, we played nice. We didn't address this with anybody. We could have easily just, unleashed the beast. We could have thrown it all over Haunters Hangout. Screw that. We kept it amongst ourselves.
That's what I suggested.
I know.
But I already apologized for doing it.
I suggested let it go. So
No,
let's move on. Let's move on. Come on. It's
But
not
anyway,
about us. It's about
I will
them.
say that with a few choice comments that were made and some very specific messages and emails that were sent, at least the logo came down. Unfortunately, they still apparently have a Haunters Hangout location that they're charging people extra to go to. So whatever. But hey, I guess you can't be creative enough.
So much. They'll reap their own benefit.
Hey, now that we're in 20 minutes in.
Yeah. Hey, I had to get that off my chest. It was been chapping my ass all day long. This has been burning me up. So anyway, here's your
If you don't start the damn show.
Well, with all that said, we've got some great guests on tonight. Of course, your host Diablo85 is in the house. We've also got Brad Goodspeed.
Hello, everyone. How's it going?
Yes, Brad.
Here to take your questions.
Yes.
Right.
So he'll be monitoring Facebook, YouTube. If you've got any questions of the guest, feel free to put that in the chat. Do start your comment with the word question if it is directed to one of the guests. That makes it much easier for everybody to capture that and to get your question answered. Other than that, chat amongst yourself. And that's what it's all about. We're here to hang out. And with that said, we've got some great guests joining us tonight. Coming from Nightmare on Arrow Street, we've got Sue Roberts. If you could say hello.
Hi.
Also joining us, the legend himself, Steve from Steve's Haunted Yard. And as we said earlier, we've got a special guest tonight that we rounded up at the last minute. We've got the Chipman, Michael Stratman. How you doing, buddy?
Ladies and gentlemen.
And the one and only, this year's big winner, we've got Chris Ainsworth. How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing awesome. How you guys?
Oh, I bet. Actually, we've got two big winners here tonight, so we're pretty thrilled.
Look at that face.
Don't forget about Sue.
The Dead with Dave just had their latest contest and announced their winners a couple weeks ago, so we're thrilled to have these people here. But we might as well go ahead and get started with let's talk to Sue, and she can fill us in on what all she's been working on. I know she's been an extremely busy lady this past year. Sue, if you could
I
kind of give us a little bit of rundown on what's been going on.
haven't been really.
Wait, hold
doing...
on. Wait. All right,
What?
Go ahead.
Are you really gonna give me a hard time?
Oh, definitely.
All right, go
Are
ahead.
are we really going there already?
Go ahead.
Haven't been doing too many new props. Working on a leg lamp of Sally, but taking a break from the build last year with a fountain and all my Nightmare Before Christmas stuff. So it's been I'm now getting the itch to start building again because of all you guys. So been doing a lot of traveling.
She just said that.
Right.
Yeah, she just said that so nonchalantly, like I haven't had any new things really going on.
Right.
Because I was busy last year.
Yeah, I mean, Nightmare Before Christmas
start
is
late.
awesome. It looks
I start
great.
late. Thank you. I was proud of how that turned out. It's been it was a tough build, but watching Tara and all her videos, it kind of enticed me to try the whole foam carving.
It's great stuff.
That was such a big prop, so I was happy about that.
I mean, everything just looks so perfect. I mean, right down to like everything.
That's a great piece.
I wanted it to make it look like you were stepping into the set. So.
Oh, you did it.
That was my.
Oh,
my
absolutely.
I'm not into. I haven't done the gore thing really because there's so many kids in the area, but. Nightmare Before Christmas, my daughter kind of made me start on that, and it's spawned from there with all the other characters. So this year is a few new characters that I'm planning on making. So
From the same, from Nightmare on Elm Street?
yeah, I think I'm gonna do the the mermaid, and probably the clown on the unicycle.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
Which might be a bigger one.
Well, it's such a great world to draw from, right? Like, there's so
It
many
is.
amazing characters in that.
And then I might pull in some of the Corpse Bride stuff too, so I can start expanding on the Tim Burton theme.
Hey, Sue, do you leave all your props out for like a number of days before Halloween, or do you just put them out on Halloween?
No, they're out probably for about a week and a half, 2 weeks, give or take.
No theft? You're not worried about theft or anything?
No, actually, it's a pretty good neighborhood. I think I've had one mask stolen in the past. Before I started making the things, I was mostly had masks that I added to the bodies that I made and stuff. And there was only one thing that's been stolen. So knock on wood. But no, they're pretty good. I think that everybody enjoys it. They haven't, they know that I think if they start stealing stuff, I'm going to stop doing it. So.
Well, now that you're a big award winner, you got to worry about haunters coming to steal your stuff.
I'm still in shock about that because the props that were entered were amazing, and I look up to everybody that is on here.
If you can tell everybody what award you did win.
The best static prop on Deadwood Dave for my fountain.
Which was
probably about 8.5 feet tall.
Right, this one here.
Yep.
Oh, how long did that take you to make?
That's probably about 2.5 months, but I was also making other characters in between, trying to wait for drying time and all that.
That was my kid's favorite. I told Sue earlier that's my kid's favorite prop from that too. They loved that.
Thanks.
Yeah, that prop was amazing. I loved seeing all the pictures and everything that you kept posting as it progressed. I mean, it was pretty phenomenal.
It was a learning curve there. if I knew now what I would have done some things different, but I just went with it and did the best I could.
It just looks right on, man. Every character you did is
it looks
right there.
Yeah, I take a lot of time. I watched the movie so many times and paused it and just trying to get the right proportions and, you know.
Yeah, that's not always easy. I mean, you could maybe, you could say it might be one thing to make the character and have you be able to look at it and know what it's supposed to be, but you actually just completely recreated the character like totally faithfully. Like it looks amazing. It just looks
Yeah,
like
I went
made
through
out
to
of fun.
try to like look at different positions of it so I knew like how fat they were or how thin they were, and
That's
tried
awesome.
to get them in somewhat proportion because I wanted them to, really, the kids to go in there and go, wow. And some of the kids don't even know what Nightmare Before Christmas is, but it's like,
What?
Oh,
some of the little ones.
terrible.
But it's
They ain't
like
parenting.
now the teenagers and the parents are like, oh, this is so cool. We all know, Nightmare
Right.
Before Christmas.
Right.
So
Well, I just wanted to like give you another challenge to that Nightmare
okay.
Before Christmas. Is why don't you make the roulette wheel for Boogeyman to stand on and have it spin?
Actually, I still have to make. I'm actually the Oogie Boogie was a throw together. That is actually made out of dollar store shower curtains.
Wow.
Is it really?
Cool.
Oh yeah. I was told by my daughter you have to have Oogie Boogie, and I was like, okay. So what I did, he's so big, and I already have lack of space, and like, how can I make it so I can store it? So, and it was last minute. I carved out the head basic, and then I glued shower curtains to the top, and then I just got 2 huge shower curtains, cut it out, taped it together, and just stuck it on a pole and stuffed it with newspaper, and then put a green spotlight on it.
Wow.
So that was a throw together
That's
for
amazing.
last minute.
That's
I
cool.
was surprised how it came out.
What was your first character you did?
It was Jack.
The Pumpkin King.
Yeah, Jack was the first. Then I moved on to Sally, and then it was the mayor, and then Lock, Stock, and Barrel, and Zero was in it. So those were made before. This year, this past year, I made the Fountain, Oogie Boogie, the One-Eye Boy, the Mummy Boy, the Harlequin Demon, which is there. That was just on.
Yeah. I love that one. It's very cool.
That was one of my favorites, and I made some of the smaller props, the Jack in the Boxes and the flattened roadkill turtle and things here and there, just to add to it a little more.
Now, because of the just the pure size of them and the fact that they all have all of the pieces and parts that are sticking off and going everywhere, I can't even imagine trying to store everything that you've gotten done so far.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. The Jack breaks down. His torso and his head are the biggest pieces. Everything else, his suit is just a tarp done in black duct tape. I cut to tailor him and just put it on him. The fountain breaks down into 3 pieces. 3 very large pieces, but 3 pieces. And then the others are tough. They're tough to get in there. I have to redo the mayor. He took a beating.
The question, we've had this before on other shows, but we can get your perspective on it, Sue. From Chem Spider says, damn, mice ate my fountain. Now I have to start over. How do you stop mice from munching mache? I like the alliteration there, by the way.
Well, the fountain's not. I made that out of the foam, and I coated that with the Hot Wire Foam Factory hard coat. And then on my others, I have had some mice issues. I say a lot of the polyurethane coating it. I also put some Listerine in the mix to try to help with molding and maybe helps with deterring the mice But I also have heard that if you put dryer sheets around the area that you're storing some of your paper mache, that it deters mice also. The smell.
Maureen Perez wants to know, do you have any tutorials on how you made your props?
I don't. I'm terrible, except The only thing I have is I hate being on camera for one. So this right here is an ordeal for me. So yeah, because it's just me that does it. I usually I just go with it and I'm terrible. I forget to take pictures, and the fountain was the closest that you're probably going to get to a tutorial for right now. that I put up there, the steps that I took, but I'm going to try to get better at doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was like,
I would. Okay, I might do a tutorial on how I made my hot wire bow cutter and the power supply that I made myself too. So
there you go.
Yeah, that would be helpful. That'd always be good.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey,
We'll
Jim,
expect that by next-
you forgot to go down the line and like have everybody introduce yourself.
Yeah.
You just skipped right to like the pow.
Did
Just
I?
the pow. You went right to the power.
See, when there's only one girl on the show, we start fighting over her. That's what Jim.
Yeah, we.
I thought I was going to have a little time to warm up to all this, but it's like, hello.
Well, that's why I started to do
We done went through all the pictures and everything. You just like let it go. We just like
Just go bam, bam. Any other time I get it because I don't get into it. So hey, what the hell?
You've got the
So see, I got done early. I'm done now.
Oh, she's warming up to the camera now. Look.
No, not at all. I'm used to you guys, so that's what I'm basing my thing off. Is I'm used to you three the most. So we'll just stay with that.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, hey, you're doing just fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Listen to you.
I'm waiting. It's still early. Diablo hasn't gotten on the warpath yet.
No, you're right. He hasn't got on the warpath yet.
And I'm not typing. Look.
Yes. Well, before he gets too much on the warpath, then I'm going to jump over here to Chris and have a little bit of chat with the other the Canadian that we've got up north. We always like to throw that out. You always know that. It can't just be Chris Ainsworth. It's got to be Chris Ainsworth, the Canadian.
The
Canadian.
No problem.
Yeah, Chris is a proud Canadian. He's all about Canadian hunting, right, Chris?
All the way.
Yeah, Chris is always supporting other Canadian hunters. Now you got to talk about yourself, buddy.
Yep, that's your cue.
Well, what would you like me to talk about?
I know.
Well, you know what?
Said something, right?
We
Just
might,
give you out
we might
there.
as well start.
For
We
people,
might as well start and get the. We mentioned it earlier. Why don't you tell everybody, what award you did win this year and who you dethroned this year? That's even better.
Harshness.
Wow.
Let me. I'll back up for a second just to give everybody a little history on who I am and how I got into all this, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we are going to be celebrating our 11th year this year for 2015. Last year was a big year for us because if you don't know, we're more of a charity haunt. We have been raising money for the Sick Kids Foundation now since 2004, and I found out the other day, because I just re-registered for 2015 with Sick Kids, that we're at the $40,555 mark. And this year,
All right.
That's awesome.
yeah, and this year, if we can hit the $50,000 mark, we get a permanent plaque up in Sick Kids Hospital on the wall with the Thornhill Woods Haunted House. So I'm really aiming to hit that this year. One of the reasons we do raise money for Sick Kids is because both our young boys that we have, which are 11 and 8 now, were in Sick Kids for just minor things, but we wanted to give back. And the neighborhood that we moved into, when we first moved in, we were one of the first houses. There was a lot of people in the neighborhood that had kids, and nobody was really doing Halloween. And I live in a predominantly Jewish neighborhood, and I thought, this is going to be great. I'm going to scare the shit out of all these guys. So, away I went. And it started with just a few pumpkins and tombstones. And since then, it's grown into a full-blown cemetery with pneumatic and static props, actors. Then we moved over to the driveway, and we built a 5-bedroom walk-through haunted house. And each room in there has its own set design, its own sound system, its own lighting, its own actors. We try to go all out. We try to have the yard for the young kids and the people that are wimps and don't want to go in. And then for the teenagers and adults, we have the more scary walk-through haunted house. And through that, over the years, we have grown and done videos. And then we found out, I guess, probably the first ones we used to do were the Davises, because they did the DVDs. And then it's just grown, and then you guys came along, and then there was Dead with Dave, and we're very proud to win the awards. This year, for me, I was in utter shock, I'll be honest with you. I thought for sure it was going to be Brad Goodspeed again, because he has just a phenomenal haunt, and I'm very lucky to be about a half an hour away from him. And I've gone for the last 3 years, and I've watched it grown, and he just does a phenomenal job, with, as you guys know, with his set design, his actors, his costumes, the list goes on. You can pay me later, Brad.
Yeah.
I was just getting ready to ask, like, he must have threw some change or something.
And I don't think there's any Canadian or Toronto area haunter who misses Chris's haunt every year. I always try and go. I mean, I've always gone to go see it too. It's incredible.
Thank you.
It's very, very, very cool.
Well, you know what? For us, again, it's just for the love of Halloween. We're really not doing it for recognition. We're doing it mainly to raise money for Sick Kids Foundation. But at the same time, we're giving the community something to enjoy. All these kids, come from all over, and it's just. We tell people, but a lot of people don't believe us, but we average between 2,500 to 3,000 kids on Halloween night. And the only reason we know that is because I don't want to say their name because I don't want anybody to contact them and get the product I'm getting, but I get free product from them. And I'll tell you this much, we hand these potato chips out and we count the bags, and that tells us how many people came to the door. And that's not including the parents that are standing, down by the sidewalk waiting for their kid to come up to the door. But it's just phenomenal the amount of kids that we get that come through here, and we wouldn't be able to do it without family, friends. Brad knows we do a post every year to try and get people to come and help us set up because it's such a big thing to get going. And without my neighbors and friends and haunter friends, it wouldn't get going. But again, back to the awards, we were very honored to win this year the Dead with Dave Best Veteran Home Haunter, and I was in utter shock, being up against Steve and the Davises and Brad, and again, I respect all these guys. They do such amazing work themselves, and thank you, everybody.
All right.
Absolutely.
And my son Ryan's actually sitting next to me here. He's watching me, but I want to give him a shout out because he was the one that helped me set up this whole room tonight. Come over here for a sec. This is my Ben down. This is my Ryan. Yeah.
What's up, Ryan?
Hey, Ryan.
Hi. Yeah.
buddy.
Yeah. So he's my little techie guy. He's the one that gets all the audio going for me and helps me out.
Yeah, I think we've seen him in costume too.
Yeah, he does. He does the setup with me. He does the drop-down window that we have, kind of like the one Brad has. Last year we had a witch's lair in the last room, and he was locked up in the cage, screaming at everybody to help him and get him out. So yeah, he does everything. We're starting him off early, guys. He's already a home honor.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm jealous, man. My kids are too wussy. They don't even want to go in the haunted house. When we went to Chris's haunt, Chris offered to take all the actors out so my two could walk through, and they're like, no way, wouldn't do it.
Wow.
Marty, I'll be honest with you. We do have adult actors, and we do have some static and pneumatic props. But I'd say probably some of the best scares we get is the kids, because when you get these guys in makeup, they're really creepy.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they freak out a lot of adults. We've had people, like full-blown adults, fall down and cry and freak out when these guys come at them with axes and stuff. It's just wild.
Yeah, you do hear that a lot. Where if you can get a kid actor in, the kids just I think it's just the psyche of the whole deal. It just freaks everybody out.
Yeah, 100%.
Man, little kids are just creepy, dude. Just like they run up to you, they're just creepy. You put a mask on or something. I don't know. They come
Chris, I have
running
a
at
question.
you. They come running at
Chris,
you.
I have a question. I have a question for you from Christopher Arnott. Wants to know, now that you are a Halloween award winner, when should we expect the director's cut of Party Mamas? That's a little.
That was. I wish I never went on that show. I swear to God. You guys don't know about this, but here back in Canada, they have this show called Party Mamas. And it's all about mothers that do extravagant, like, sweet 16 birthday parties, or bar mitzvahs, or bat mitzvahs, or wedding showers. And it's like lifestyles of the rich and the famous. These guys are all, like, going all out. Well, they approached me and asked me to do Party Papa. And it was all about Halloween. And, it was unbelievable how much they say it's a reality show, but everything was scripted. You know, like we had, I bought a coffin apparently, and I had it being delivered to the house, and my wife saw it and went bananas and freaked out and said, "You're not bringing that in the house." And we had power going out because I had too many things, plugged into the walls, and I had to run over to the neighbors to plug in to use their power, and it was just a big farce. Love you.
And you've got good friends that will never let you let it down either, will they?
Well, Chris Ainsworth harassed Chris Arnott when he was on the show enough times that I had to let one question go back the other way. But we have a question here from another Chris, Christopher Presley, wants to know from Chris, are there any different traditions for Halloween in Canada than in the States? Other than the maple syrup monster, Chris, can you think of anything?
No, I think, we're pretty much the same as you guys. As a kid growing up, it was all about watching the Monsters, the Addams Family. There was one show that we had here that you guys didn't, and it was called The Hilarious House of Frightenstein.
Oh, yeah.
It was narrated by Vincent Price. And it was filmed here in Hamilton, Ontario, and it was just, like, growing up as a kid, it was an amazing show.
That was awesome, yeah.
But no, everything's the same here as you guys, 100%. The only difference here is it gets cold as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at the smile on Brad's face.
I can't believe no one said anything about the maple syrup monster. You guys.
I was going to say, what the hell is a maple syrup monster, but,
You know what happens in Canada.
It's like I'm gonna look this thing up right now. That's what I'm putting on the list. I'm making that right now. Somehow the giant
Looking forward to all you guys down at Midwest Hunters Convention. I understand you guys have another booth again, like you did at Transworld. So really looking forward to seeing you guys all there too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a blast.
Mary Powell wants to know, Chris, what's the biggest challenge of doing a hunt in Canada?
I think just being prepared. It's a year-long thing. Drawing stuff out, trying to figure out what you're going to buy. What you're going to make. I'm already looking for changing 2 of my rooms, so I got to redesign them. Got to get some props to put in there. Got to get actors. Try to work on. I try to get new actors every year too. Because when I film my video, I don't want to have the same actors every year. And then also for me, the biggest thing for me is trying to get more sponsors to donate money right to sick kids, because again, we don't touch a penny of that. Everything's done online, and all that money goes directly to sick kids. So that would probably be my personal big challenge. I don't know, Brad, what do you think?
Well, I think I was going to say the weather is the biggest challenge. And we've had a couple of questions about that. I mean, that's the biggest challenge for me. But Melissa Broberg wants to know: does the Canadian weather influence your haunt, like the way you design it, or what do you think, Chris?
Well, my walkthrough's definitely weather tight because of the weather. You know, instead of just putting up a wood structure, I on the top I put an actual tarp that I screw down, and that keeps it bone dry. And my niece, who's in the last morgue room, she usually asks for me to plug a heater in near her to keep the heat coming into her. But I know, like Grant McDonald and some of the other guys that are in Western Canada, they get hit with snow. Like Grant McDonald sent Hector and I photos this morning. They got 10 centimeters of snow last night.
Oh, brother.
Yeah.
You can have that.
He's happy because he's now on his way down to the West Coast Haunters Convention, you know, the one that Davis and all that.
Yeah.
You know, Chris, speaking of purchases, I have to commend you on your latest find, and that is that wheelchair over your shoulder. That is freaking awesome.
I lucked out on that one. I lucked out on that one big time. That was an online auction, and they don't let you really see what people are bidding. And I just put a bid in, and I guess I must have had the highest bid, and I ended up winning it. And what sucked is I was in Montreal that weekend with my kid. We went to see a Montreal Canadian game when they were playing. Who were they playing?
Ottawa.
Ottawa. Sorry,
Game 5.
yeah, Game 5. Anyways, and these guys said you got to be back between 11 and 1 to pick it up, or we're going to charge you extra money. So we had to get up at like 6 in the morning and drive all the way back, which is about a 5-hour drive from Montreal. But we just made it, and it turns out they didn't want to disclose it, but it was an extra wheelchair on the set from the movie that was done back in the 1980s, the Changeling.
Okay.
So
I was afraid you were going to say.
I don't have data to back it up. They just had like a sign, like for people not to sit on it. They said if you sit on it, you'll be haunted. There's ghosts in it or whatever. But
so Granny's going to get up and move on us at any point in time. Is that what you're saying?
No, not yet. So I had one of Ed from Distortion's mother props, I guess he calls her, mother, which I think is a knockoff of Anthony Perkins from his mother.
Psycho?
Yeah, Psycho. Yeah, so that's her sitting in the chair, and when she's plugged in, she kind of does the old rocking. So I'm going to use her inside the haunt in one of the rooms and use her as a distraction when people come in that they'll look at her, and then I'll get one of my actors to get them from another area. Yeah.
Absolutely. No, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, before we get any weather-related questions coming in, I'm going to jump on over to Steve because we know he doesn't have too many weather problems. So we'll come back to you, Chris, in a minute, and we'll dive in a little bit deeper on your haunt. Well, Steve, would you like to introduce yourself to everybody? Tell us who you are, how do we know you, and all that good stuff.
Well, I started out as an inflatable haunter. I don't know if a lot of people know that.
So someone just blew you up, and then you started haunting?
Yes.
That's $20 spent.
That's right.
But no, I was actually thinking about it. When Chris was talking about his 11th year, I'm thinking, crap, how many years have I been doing this? I guess my big display, it's been about 7 years. And then before that, I did a really cheesy haunt with inflatables and like wooden tombstones with all the little funny like boo and
Crap, I did that. Crap.
I'll be back and all that stuff. And then I discovered online and started seeing cool stuff on there, and was like, man, my stuff's really cheesy compared to a lot of people's stuff. And during that time, I actually moved to Austin. I was in East Texas at the time, and I had moved for my military job. I had gotten PCS to Austin to get a different job. And when I came here, where I had lived before, there were no make and take groups. There was no such thing. I didn't even know it existed at the time. And I moved here and just started Googling, and there was a make and take group or a haunt group here called TXFX. And I freaking contacted them like I nearly had a heart attack. I was like, oh my God, there's more people that do this, because I had never seen anybody else's haunt, not in Texas. And contacted TXFX, and then I met Jason and Allison, and Don and Mary eventually, and a bunch of those guys, and then discovered YouTube shortly after that. And then I think my fourth year I uploaded my first YouTube video, which was like, I don't know, 10 seconds of my really cheesy monster in a box using a freaking drill, an electric drill, and it just slammed up and down real fast.
Oh, yeah.
And that thing has like, I don't know how many freaking views it has now. And people started asking me questions, and I was like, oh crap, this is really cool. And they're like, oh, well, I did this and this. Maybe if you change this, this would work better. And I'm like, man, this is a great thing. And then I just started having fun doing YouTube videos and making props, and it just blew up. And before I knew it, everybody, there were so many other people doing videos. It just was really fun. And I would probably say the Davis Graveyard was probably one of my main inspirations when I first started figuring out which direction I wanted to go in terms of the theme. And then once I got my haunted yard where I thought I wanted it, I was like, crap, now I need a haunted house. So I started doing that. And I've moved into this new house, and the garage is still packed full of stuff. So I haven't done my haunted house in a while, but last year was the first year in the new house that I've done my full-on yard haunt. So got to finally pull out my hearse. There's a picture there of the lighting and everything. I want to get rid of my light-up archway. I've had that for tons of years, and I'm kind of tired of it. So I'm going to probably redo my archway this year and get rid of the archway. I'll probably have my pillars, my columns, on either side of the driveway this year instead of in front of the yard. And I really want to focus on the hearse, because I don't know that picture if you can really tell. I really just threw it together in the driveway, and didn't really. I painted it black really quick, and that's all I did to it. I want to get plexiglass in it, do the whole crushed velvet, and I mean fully deck it out. But it also is, I made it to where I can break it down. What I can do, guys, since I know everyone's mad at me because I don't do as many YouTube videos anymore, is I will do a video of what it looks like broken down on the side of my storage shed, which is one of the big things that I've worked on this year. I built a big, huge 10x10 storage shed to actually hold all of my stuff. You guys have seen my video on the wagon wheels.
Oh, yeah.
that I started painting. That Jim already made fun of me earlier about. But that's the only thing that I've worked on.
I didn't make fun of you. You teased me. I was like, oh, yeah, Steve's got a freaking video out. I was like,
yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. But a lot of the stuff I've been working on really has been organizing, trying to get everything organized, because it's so much chaos every year when I set up my haunt, and everything's not where it needs to be. So I've really focused on trying to organize this year and get everything to where it's easier. And one of the big things I'm doing right now, I'm going to divulge a really cool secret. I don't know if a lot of you guys know about this website. Maybe a lot of you do. but it's called Ally Express. It's basically stuff from China, but it's direct from China. Instead of buying it from like a vendor that gets it from there, you can buy it straight from them. And they have LED spotlights for like $2-3. And a lot of them are the same exact ones you can buy from, you know, some of the companies that we buy our stuff from.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the kicker. If you don't buy it now, you won't have it by Halloween. So it literally comes on a slow boat from China. And so I ordered some spots and some other stuff to try out recently. So when I get them, I'll definitely do some videos on them to see the quality and see how good they are. But I bought some of the outdoor spots, and I bought the RGB stuff so I can physically. One of the big things I do, it takes me so long to set up my lighting. I focus on my lighting so much, as I think a lot of hunters do. Everything's a solid bulb, like blue light. Well, I'll put a blue light here, and then I'll move this, and I'll move this light, and I spend freaking hours upon hours upon hours moving freaking lights. So now I want to just push a button and change the color if I want to. So I bought RGB stuff. So I'm talking the RGB spotlights for like $3 with the remote.
Wow.
Pretty good stuff, but like I said, I don't know the quality yet because I haven't gotten any of it. And once I get it in, I'll definitely do some videos and reviews on the stuff and let everybody know where I'm getting it from.
Now, Steve, you sort of casually mentioned that things blew up regarding your YouTube channel. Steve has one of the most popular hunting YouTube channels. Almost 5,000 subscribers, I believe. So we have people asking, you know, do you see the future? Do you plan on doing more videos? Melissa Broberg wants to know that specifically.
Well, I was doing a lot of videos because I was doing a lot of prop building. A lot of the stuff, you know, my yard, I actually moved to this house and it's a smaller yard. So I don't have a lot of room to build the number of props that I was building before. It just happened to be a perfect time, and I needed so many things to build, and I've built most of them. I could do some more videos, but it's going to be kind of updating type videos. I want to redo a lot of my tombstones this year. I want to build the new arch this year. I want to finish the hearse this year. So if I do some videos, it's definitely going to be in that realm. I do want to build some crypt-style walls, like Louisiana-style crypts, to kind of put us backdrop paneling
like
behind
the
us.
ground.
Yeah, like the above-ground crypts, but just the panels to kind of put behind my cemetery as kind of a backdrop. That's something I've wanted to do for years. We'll see if I get time to do that. But man, going from the number of kids I had before to double the amount, it definitely takes more of your time. So,
Bruce Janzer wants to know, Steve, who is your biggest inspiration for hunts?
Like I said before, I think the Davis Graveyard was probably one of them. And then as I started doing research, you know, there were so many out there, and I think the monster list was probably when I had a heart attack. When I found the monster list, and that thing is still out there. And then Hunt Project. When I found that, it was just ridiculous. And then of course Garage of Evil came along. You know, it's so funny. You got all these different things that to get information from. I even had a website at one time. I wanted to keep that updated, but it's so difficult. And then Facebook really kind of blew up, and so now Facebook, I think, is more of a place where people put their stuff than their websites. A lot of times, they use that as a website.
Yeah, it's funny, Steve, and this has been mentioned multiple times before. And you know, we tease you, and things have been said about the fact that we don't have that many videos up, but I will commend you on the fact that when you have put some videos up, it's at least been of Goth Gloom, because otherwise we would never get to see what the hell was going on in Goth Gloom. So I commend you for that.
Speaking of that, Jim, speaking of that, I know that I did promise to put Goth Gloom footage out there. I do respect Don and Mary very much, and I do follow their wishes a lot of times. I've been meaning to ask him, and we ran into them the other day because we were going garage selling last weekend, and we freaking ran into Don, Mary, and Greg at the gas station on the way to garage sales, and they were going to Dallas to get their picture with Elvira. And I was like, no way. And I meant to ask them then, but I'll text him. The only video footage that I could find was in the elevator, which will be really funny because I know on the last show where Mary and Greg were on there, they were talking about how it didn't actually physically work, so they're having to physically shake it.
Yeah.
And so when I
that?
upload that, I do. When I upload the video, that's Don physically shaking the freaking thing.
Man,
So
I don't care what Don says, man. Put it out there. Put it out there, man.
Mhm.
And it's funny because I went back and I thought I got more footage, but when I got to the haunt, I remember Tara was in the freaking foyer in the lobby, and I was like, oh my God, it's Tara.
Tara.
And she freaking freaked me out, and I forgot to turn my camera on. And so then I got in the elevator and I recorded that, and then after that, Greg was like pushing you through the haunt, and he's like a crusty old bellhop or something. And I was like, damn it! And he's pushing me through the laundry room, and then I get out of the side of the haunt. I'm like, oh my God, I never turned my camera back on. So
I'm just more amazed that we haven't heard Jose's hating Texas rant yet, because you've just told 2 stories of running into like famous haunters, like in walking around.
No. You know, Brad. In all honesty, I've been talking for like the last 40 minutes, like Texas sucks and all this, but I was muted. I forgot to unmute myself. It was there, bro. It was there.
So it was just like you, Steve. He forgot to hit the on button.
Right. As I told my wife, I was like, "Be quiet, honey." She goes, "No, you're muted." I'm like, "Ah, shit."
Well, that's good for me.
Steve, question from Scotty Cole: where can I find instructions on how to make your hearse? Tombs Manor needs some extra mortals on the guest list.
Oh man, crap! Where did I get my instructions? I actually got most of my instructions from just Googling building a hearse from other haunters. I can't think of the name right now. In one of my videos, when I first started talking about building a hearse, I referenced the person that actually went by for some of my dimensions. He actually did an online tutorial, like on his website.
Oh, what is that guy's name? I don't know who you're talking about too.
Yeah, I'll try to look it up. And he did and he ended up selling it. Like, he made the whole hearse, and it was bad ass. And he sold it right as soon as after he was done making it. And I can't remember his name right now, but he did a very, very detailed tutorial on the construction of it. I don't know if it really showed dimensions or anything, but it was a lot of photos of the construction. And I think I've mentioned this before. I don't really measure anything, so I don't really know what size it is anyway.
Question. Just so you all know, Don Powell just left a comment saying to Steve, "Yes, you can post the videos." There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I'll post the elevator video because it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
And plus, you can go to Jen's Hunt Smith. She does a pretty good tutorial on.
She did a really good one. Yeah, she did a really good one too. So.
Yeah, she killed it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, Steve, we'll jump back over to you. I'm interested to get the Chipman talking.
Chipman.
Yes, he's been sitting back here just
I think
watching.
the Chipman fell asleep, man. Been waiting so long.
Wait a second. Hey, Steve.
It's like a can of Pringles. Once I pop, the fun don't stop.
Well, of course, we got the Chipman tonight. Hey, why don't you give us just a little bit of background? It's kind of funny because you all just kind of blown up here recently with you and Rich, and give us a little bit of background on what you guys, where you've come from, where you're at, and what's going on.
Well, I guess we'll start from the very, very, very beginning. It was a story a long time ago in some suburb far, far away. I actually met Rich about 10 years ago up in a place, it was in Long Island. He had a show called House of the Living Dead. And I actually had never dealt with anything haunted. I was deathly afraid of horror movies and afraid of my own shadow. But I was in a band at the time, and I had a PA system, and Rich had a concert series with no PA, and I accidentally volunteered it. 10 years later, I am now down here, down in the bayou, down in Louisiana. I met up with Rich about 2 years ago again. Kind of like a sad country song. Lost my girlfriend, lost my job, my car was busted. I pretty much lost everything but a dog because I didn't have a dog. So I had a cat. So I ended up coming down here 2 years ago, and I take what's called the Rich Hands internship. And I've been down here, being Rich's right-hand man, down at a place called the Bright Trail. We're going for the 4th season. And, I haunt every day of my life, unfortunately. You guys have probably gotten a chance to see some of the craziness we've gotten ourselves into recently. We just got back from a trip from Oklahoma. We claimed a 29,000 square foot haunted house called the Hex House that we're currently relocating. I'm going to reset up some of it in our haunt this year. And that's the front of our haunt right there. I built that last year. It's one of my more favorite projects. I built it by myself. And, it's 2 stories tall. A little fireball action right there.
It looks great.
Wow, that's
I gotta,
tall.
yeah, it goes over our mine shaft. I gotta thank the lovely government of Louisiana. We get away with a couple of things that a lot of other people don't just because of what we are and how we're set up. But that's strictly on overload right there. Watching videos, got a chance to go see them up in Legendary this year. They have a phenomenal place. And you can't walk 5 feet without seeing something that you want to replicate. To some extent, they do a phenomenal job. So that was kind of, I had an idea that was kind of brought on by them a little bit, and I brought it out in our mine shaft. And you actually have to, the entrance is about 4 feet tall, and you kind of got to bend down a little bit and go into our mine shaft.
You're right.
And that's another little thing we did. Just a little piece off on the side. We're out in the middle of the woods. It's 20 acres of haunted woods, and the joy of that, your backdrop is the woods itself. If you've ever been outside in the woods, let alone the woods down in the swamps, I mean, they're scary enough at night without light. You put a couple LEDs out there, a couple really nice shacks, and a couple of well-placed props, like, what do they call that? Picking low-lying fruit.
Man, 20 acres? Holy cow.
Yeah, we haven't even really tapped some of the better ends of the back portion of the property. That's our claim. We filled an entire 4-bay garage with the 29,000 square feet that we brought back. It was probably, I mean, I can't even guesstimate some of it. Because, the time you save, there's 150 pre-made already done walls, 250 pre-made painted panels. I mean, it looks like we robbed every 2x4 from the Lowe's, local Home Depot and Restore. 96 pre-done barrels, all filled with props. Now I can walk them out there and play with it.
Holy shit! You guys literally have no excuses.
No, actually, I was joking because everyone posting they go to Home Depot. And I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to start smashing Rich's tools just so I have an excuse to go to Home Depot.
Right. You don't even need to go.
No, we really don't. And before we went down there, we actually ripped down a old tin building. A lot of what we use, you spend all this time trying to rust things or stuff. You go take down a building that's been outside for 50 years in Louisiana. Set, done, you got a little bit of rotted wood, you put some good wood behind it so it's safe, and if it holds the weather down here 2 years, you're pretty lucky.
Right.
It's killer down here. That's a front that's actually done by a haunter up in upstate New York. His name's Kevin McCurdy. He has his own place up there, great guy, and he actually designed, Rich designed our entranceway, and that's his work right there. He just did the whole thing, and it's phenomenal work. Blown away by that piece.
Yeah, it looks great.
A very, very fortunate and lucky man. When I chose to want to get into this industry, rather than trying to start all on my own and build something, I knew I didn't have the tools or the technology yet, and the know-how. So Rich has really taken me under his wing, and I've gotten a chance to meet people like the Timmer and Ben Armstrong and a couple other faces that, even one tidbit that you guys get from them, or just watching Haunters hang out and watching things that other people do, it influences. It's amazing seeing what the home haunters are doing out there right now. One of the things we always talk about, if you could take one prop that one person's done, you take all the home haunters, you'd have enough to fill enough props in a massive haunted house.
Amen, brother. Amen.
Yeah. And,
what happened here?
That's a building we destroyed. We've got a thing for ripping down buildings the Cajun way. So we have hooked the old F-350 up with a bunch of chains, and we start pulling. So hard.
Dude, I must have a little occasion in me, I think.
Yeah. Exactly. Some of our favorite things we post is us destroying stuff, and I wish that we sometimes had the build crews I see some people have, but at the end of the day, it's realistically just Rich and myself out there a lot of the time. So that's another fun little piece. Deb, who is the person no one ever really sees, she's Rich's wife. She's the strong woman behind our back. Don't think we're just a bunch of guys that can get away with life. Like the myth says, we have a strong woman behind us, and she's an amazing soul. And she won this at an auction, and there was no not getting it. She came home from Transworld with her big spider and a little bit of smoke. And across the way is actually a poison prop animatronic with a spider, and you don't see it, and it comes out and it almost hits you in the leg. People jump. Right. A lot of people don't like spiders.
Dude, that thing is
awesome.
That's creepy as shit right there.
Yeah, it is.
So it's almost it's like a Volkswagen Bug, and I get the fortunate, we'll call it excuse, to be able to be the one running the props across the street and setting them up a lot of the time. And I stood that out by the road for about 15, 20 minutes, and we're out on the main street of the town, and people are swerving. They're like, "What is that? Oh, no!" They're all freaking out and stuff. And so we'll leave the props, or we'll drive to the store real quick with a zombie in the back of the truck and get people's reactions. We actually, if anyone got to see our last edit when we were zombie hunting, the cops were called on us because we were supposedly killing people.
Yeah, dude, that was funny as hell. I was like, you're like, okay, the cops are coming. Like, oh shit, you know the cops came because all the gunfire.
Oh yeah.
They rolled up all slow. I was like, oh damn, they got in trouble.
No, that was great. We played it off as normal. We like down. We do a lot of volunteer work, and we just try to help out. And, we played it off, and at first they started taking pictures with everyone, and they're taking pictures of the dummies that were on the ground, the zombies. And after they're asking, well, what possesses you in the middle of it's just the beginning of May now, the Cinco de Mayo. What possesses you in the middle of Cinco de Mayo to do this? And I said, officer, there's a 5-year-old girl's dreams I gotta save. No argument there. Any excuse right there. Blame it on a small child.
They shut right up. You know, I knew that shit was fake when like you rolled up and you had the gun in your hand. Like, you're like. And you put your finger out. He was like with your finger. You're like, bam. I was like, oh shit, that's a real cop. That's a real cop right there.
That's a real cop. They know us pretty well, but someone personally drives down to the police station to tell them that like we were quote unquote killing someone, and so they were forced to have to come down. Like,
holy shit, damn.
Yeah. They thought we were shooting guns towards the road and stuff, which, I mean, technically we were. They're just stage guns. Having fun on a Tuesday after a margarita.
Damn straight. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
That's a chicken coop. I wish I could have gotten better photos of it. I'm still struggling when it's lit. It's so awkward because it's all tin. We relocated a 24-foot wide, 68-foot long chicken coop. And about 15 years ago, they were raising fighting roosters in there. And so it just seems like something you had to have on your property in Louisiana, something that fighting roosters used to do. So
I don't know, man. It looks like the first vehicle I went to see
yeah,
the drive-in movies with, and Dad like opened up the back door and we had popcorn.
yeah. We had a hearse up where I wanted to put the chicken coop, and the answer was, "How do you move a hearse with no engine?" I said, "Screw it, we're just going to put the chicken coop on top of it." So like the Wicked Witch of the West, I just dropped that house on him.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a nice little scare shot at night. Fortunately, one of the only ones we were able to get access to, unfortunately. But that's what we call the attack shack. And as you get deeper into the woods, rather than just overloading you all at one time, we make you first walk in front of some places that are in the distance. Then you walk across some porches, and then it isn't until about halfway through the trail that you go through your first real shack structure. We call it the Evil Dead House. It's kind of mimicked a little bit after that. We get into the overhaul this year. But another fun little shack. What you see there is we call it the Attack Shack, and that's one of our main makeup artists, Mike. And he posts some of his work up on Honors Hangout now. It's actually really fun when you get to see other people on staff actually putting their work up and being proud of their stuff.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, one thing I always wondered, and it's like I've tried to do it and I've never been able to like accomplish it, is like how do you actually get the scare scenes? Is like, I have a camera and you press a button and it's like and it wants to try to focus, but I see everybody get these like snap right on the spot shots when you need them. Bam, bam. How is that? I mean, how'd you accomplish that?
We just get pretty fortunate and lucky, like some people do. We have he works with cameras professionally for his job. He actually is a newscaster down there. He shoots a lot of video for the local news station. And so he'll set up. Majority of what we do is film. We put up scare cams, so we don't have a ton of stills when the actual thing's going on. But this coming season, we also brought in someone else to do stills. So we allocate a little bit towards the department of bringing in professionals, unfortunately.
Oh, damn. Well, that don't help out at all.
As we always say, we build the haunted house, but sometimes, I play everything you see that I do is actually off of our phone from first-person point of view, video-wise. I do a little bit with GoPros and stuff, and I'm shooting some other stuff for some footage we're going to use in a couple of months. We're going to come out with a project. But aside from that, I leave the at-night stuff. Last year, I didn't get a chance to even go really through the haunt when it was functioning. I was one of our scare actors. I was one of the zombie hunting classes. So
right, because I want pics like this. You're like,
yeah. Everyone knows their haunt best, and that particular shot, every one of those doors functions to some extent. Someone can come out, or the door behind them bangs. And so when you know where the scares are going to come and where the timing is, it's just a matter of the person.
Well, I mean, if it's
you gotta take Diablo. You gotta take. I think if you want something like that, you gotta have a flash on and autofocus off.
Yeah.
You just
He also, I think the other key to his thing, because I have problems with my camera. My Canon has the actual lens zoom on it. These are shots all taken where it's separate lenses. They call that kind of DSLR or something, and that usually helps with probably getting the crystal shot too. You really got to invest some money into some really good camera gear.
Right. Well, I got the DSLR, but it's like my camera just wants to keep, it wants to get that perfect shot, and it's like, and I go to press the button, and it's like, it's autofocus. Okay.
You gotta turn that shit off.
All right. Once it turns off, does it like just give you a plain view, or does it?
No, well, you gotta hope you got focus when you, you gotta be focused. So what you can do is like focus on something about as far away, like when there's the light, when light is up, like when you've got good light, focus about something about as far away as you think you'll be standing from the people, and just leave it on that focus, and then leave the flash on, and then when the time comes, just bang, 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 and just get your pictures.
Gotcha.
Anyways, so you've mentioned the size of your haunt, Michael, but
yes.
Maureen Perez wants to know. I apologize if you have talked about this already. How many visitors do you get per season?
That's an interesting question. it's something that is unfortunately not disclosed to myself. I'm not at that level per se of knowing that kind of knowledge. I just kind of build, and I enjoy watching what goes on. I know
Like
that
Scientology, you don't know that.
yeah, I don't know. There's two people who do it, and I am not the accountant, unfortunately, of our operation. So
Right.
that's knowledge I don't have, unfortunately. I know that we have a blast. It's a very long, tiring schedule, and I felt like it went never-ending some nights last year. So it was a good time. We aren't open as much as some haunts that are out there. On the professional level, we're only open for about 11 nights.
Christine,
we're still building.
Christine Stefan wants to know, Michael, what do you use for blood in the haunt?
Actually, we just got some really good stuff this year at Tranquil. We went and made a purchase from Rip City FX. We got some great stuff from them. They make 3 different products. I used the hot sauce recently, which I didn't mind. And then they have this really nice, it's kind of tacky, so it doesn't dry. You can put it in the deep cuts. And I forget the other one they call it, but you don't want to get it on yourself. I know a lot of people have a hard time finding a good blood that doesn't look like it dried to put on your props and on your sets. And they make this wonderful product, but don't get it on your hands or you're not getting it off. But it's awesome stuff. I really love their stuff a lot.
Well, maybe you could go back and post that on the link after
By the
the
way,
show.
anytime you hear us talking about people, too, we do that all on our own. It's just from people that we've dealt with or what's gone on, and it's personal experiences. Because at the end of the day, if you have a good experience with a good company or something, you want other people to know that. You don't want them going someplace else and having a bad experience when you've got a good product. You can share that little bit of knowledge, too.
Melissa
I believe they're going to be. They've got a booth at MHC as well coming
Yeah,
up.
it was awesome, and I do know that their booth was so nice that a haunter, some of us may know, actually bought their booth. It's going to be in a haunt this year. They did an awesome job.
Melissa Broberg wants to know, what's the most challenging aspect of being in the pro haunt world?
It's kind of interesting because there's a lot of stuff in our particular area that most other people don't have to deal with, such as I went to walk the trail today. I thought the mosquitoes were going to carry me away. It's May. These things have colonized. They're huge. One of my biggest fears of being down here, I hate snakes, and I have to deal with them on a regular basis. I actually walk through the woods with a roof rake. That is my weapon of choice for the zombie apocalypse and poisonous snakes. There's some things that I can't believe we deal with. The ants. We have issues with electrical sometimes because the ants will go in there after some storms. But if I had to guess anything, something from one of Rich's seminars that I've sat through, it's really in the beginning. Make sure you got a solid plan. Don't ever mortgage your house. Don't mortgage your house. You are more than likely going to lose your wife in the process or husband if you're a female. Try to team up with an FEC or something that's already in business. And, you get the A rides and stuff. But aside from that, really, just having a solid plan and someplace to go. If you got the rest of it, and you got some hard work, and you got the spirit. I mean, I see some stuff people do on their front lawn. If they can carry that over, you got the pros carry, no problem. You're the one who's already built the props. You got a little bit of stock. You know how to set up in bad weather. Those are the real hard parts. It's the business stuff when you first get into the pros. And fortunately for me, I took the internship, so I don't deal with any of the money pushing or anything. They point and shoot, and I go, here's my requisite form.
The nice part.
Here's my requisite form. Am I going to get that or not? And if I don't get it, then I got to build it from scratch. Watch another YouTube video.
A question. Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead. Move on.
Oh no, I was just gonna ask Chris. I was like, and I always wonder this. As much as you do your charity hunts, do you ever think about going pro? I mean,
yeah, I'd love to, but the biggest issue we have up here is the economy's doing really well, and any place that you want to go to and try and rent out, the landlords want big bucks. They want you to sign leases for a minimum like 3 years, and It's not like Diablo where you are. Like I told you, I've got my buddy that lives there in Dearborn, and I think in Michigan there's more haunts than all of United States, like not combined, but I just mean in one state. You guys even have your own magazine that goes out, if I'm not correct.
Yeah, I mean, I went there. I went to like 9 haunts, and that was just like in my area. So
Right.
it was like.
But what you see in Detroit and Michigan and all through there is, it's kind of certain areas are not so great. They're a little run down, and you won't get, like the Starbucks or, some of the Target stores wanting to be in these little plazas. So the landlords are so desperate to get somebody to come in, you can get them for a steal. Like I know Tim, who does here in Buffalo, he just keeps bouncing around from strip plaza to strip plaza where the landlords let him keep all his product there for the whole year for free.
Wow,
And then
that's a good deal.
Yes.
the months of September, October, and into a bit of November that he pays these guys for rent. But as I said, it's hard. Like we had a guy up here, Sean Gus, and he did trailer haunts. He bought 3, was it, Brad, or 4 trailers that he.
I never got to see his hunt, unfortunately. I wish I had.
Okay, well, he bought 4 tractor trailers and combined them all together, and he ended up having to go into like a strip mall or like a mall and use the parking lot, and they charged him like you wouldn't believe how much money and all the insurance he had to get.
God, just for the parking lot? Wow.
Yeah.
Toronto's a real expensive place.
I really would love to go pro. Like, oh my God, if I could do a haunt with Brad, it would be insane.
Uh-oh.
Well, it would be great. It'd be great, but that's my thing too, is the business part of it, like the money for a place to do it. And if you want to make a pro haunt in an area where the real estate is more acceptable, well then you're farther away from the people who would come to see it, and so it's always I'm sure that's the same problem that everybody has, but
through the roof because we're in such a heavy populated area. And everybody's just like looking to do something, and they want to go. We had this guy that did like a farm haunt, Magic Hill Farms. Brad, I don't know if you ever went to that one.
Yeah, I did go there. Yeah, not when it was running. I went for a tour after it was running.
Oh, okay. Well, when it was running, and he ended up having to close down because of issues with the city, where he had to hire cops to stand out and direct traffic and everything. It was that insanely busy.
Right, but did you ever think maybe like a McCain?
I'm happy doing my home haunt. I like that I'm raising money for a charity, and like I said,
that's great. Yeah,
it's not huge, and it's like I said, I get enough people helping me that it works, and I'm happy. But yeah, I would love to be professional.
But Chris also has another issue, like even more difficult than the city to work with sometimes is the marriage, right? Like you've got to like Chris is like of one of the amazing skills he has is balancing act, because Chris is Halloween to the extreme, right? Not just doing the haunt, but he was running the Canadian Haunters Association for a long time, and like Chris is all about Halloween, so he's got to play that game.
I did. I took over the. It used to be the Ontario Haunters Club, but there was haunters all across Canada. So that's when I started up the Canadian Haunters Association. And then we tried, remember Scarefest? We did that for a few years. Yeah. But I was, again, we don't have the people that you guys have down in the U.S. Like, Christ, the state of New York has more people than all of Canada. So we just. Don't have the ponies in the barn, if you want to call it, that would come out to an event, and wasn't into losing money. So the wife just said, you got too much on the go. You got to get rid of some stuff. So now, as you guys know, Paul Clinton's running the Canadian Haunters Association, and I pitch in when I can to help him out. Scarefest was dropped, and now I just have fun with my haunt. Yeah.
For now.
Yeah.
Until Brad finds a building.
that's right.
Until Brad
finds in the United States.
Yeah. In Texas. We're going to move to Texas, Chris.
Oh, DFW needs another wrong.
Man, hey, Austin has one haunted
Hey,
house.
you want to hear a funny story really quickly? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. You see the photo that's up right now, those two twins?
Mm-hmm.
Diablo, that you just had that, those two twin girls? Okay, sorry, I froze there for a sec. These two girls were friends with one of the other young actors that comes every year, and they came, and this was the only one night that I had them. And I guess their parents came by to check out to see what they were doing, and I had no idea the parents are reborn Christians.
Oh,
When they came to the haunt and saw their daughters all done up in the makeup with all the fake blood on them, they went ballistic. They thought we were like these Satan people, that we worship the devil.
Oh my lord!
And I mean, they were right, but
They literally dragged them out of my hair. So luckily, I got them shooting the video just before the parents showed up. Because if you saw them in my video, they were phenomenal.
Oh, they look. I mean, just in this picture alone, they look creepy as hell. They
Yeah.
look awesome.
that must have been the night that I was there, Chris.
Say they won't be back this year, so this is why I need to find some more actors or actresses.
Wow, so they totally flipped out, huh?
Yeah.
That must have been the night I was there, because I remember seeing them, and they were awesome. They were right. They got it right up to your face, and they were so like outgoing. It was really, really.
Yeah. You gotta have good actors like that.
Yeah.
But we're gonna move on, and I mean, we're gonna move on to you since you've been so far over there. Do you ever plan on doing another type of hunt? I mean, is that in the future, or are you going to stick with what you got is great right now?
Diablo, you were breaking up there. Who are you addressing?
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, you completely broke up.
Sue.
Since we're so used to deciphering Diablo talk,
You should. I was actually talking normal.
Yeah, but that was
all broken. That was all broken
Diablo. That
down.
was Diablo. We're trying to decipher them for digital problems. Normally, it's a little more analog. The problem.
I think
The cliff notes, Sue, is he's wanting to know if you're going to stick with this exact same theme or move on to a new one at any point in time.
Yeah, we did have that question too.
I slur when I'm sober, so
Yeah.
it's just natural now.
I'm probably gonna this year stick with the Nightmare Before Christmas. Last year, the year before, I did witches and goblins, and I had the cemetery. I made a big built my own witches store that was fully stocked with potions and everything like that, and photo op with witches with a cauldron and a cage. So I do change it up. I think I'll do another year of this, maybe push it off to the side more, and group it in another area so I don't not leaving them out. But I had the option of using my neighbor's yard for a while. It's up in the air for because they're selling. So this year, that's why it was all in my yard, so it stayed just Nightmare. But the year before, one side was Nightmare and the other side was the witches and goblins, and so.
Well, and you mentioned earlier too that you might even think about start throwing in the Corpus Bride as well.
The Corpse Bride, different, try to do, but
Well, sounds like a great idea.
Right.
hopefully
You're so talented, so I mean, we want to see like other, what else? What else can you come up with?
I want to do like gore and stuff. And I'd love to be able to have the property to be able to do like a walkthrough or have a place to build that. I don't have the area for it. There's too many hills. There's nothing's really level. So I'm kind of stuck right now doing that. Well, maybe if I can get the next door neighbors, if they're open to letting me use it, whoever buys it.
Yeah, right.
You can just take your whole lot and flop it on the next door neighbor's lawn, and then get.
I've already said I'd love to just buy that house and be able to like use that house as a haunted house, So, but that's not in the cards right now. But I wanted to address Steve. Steve had a question about how they asked who the hearse. Was it Evil Bob?
Evil
Andrew?
Bob.
Yes.
Evil Bob, yeah.
And I was about to
Yep.
say, I looked up the video, and it's Halloween Hearst update #1 and mail time that I uploaded where I talked about Evil Bob, and I actually video like his completed hearse at the beginning of my
Yeah,
video.
it is an awesome hearse, and he also
Yeah.
he makes the TARDIS from
Yeah.
Who, Doctor
Yeah.
Who, yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I had talked to him a while ago about that hearse because I liked it so much.
Oh, that thing was amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing.
and that was something I was, I like to. I'm thinking in the long run of doing bigger things like that. So it's just a matter of space. I mean, I have a 20-foot by, I think, 10-foot storage shed, and it's jam packed.
All right.
And
That
I
sounds like
wouldn't know why.
Right, she's got the whole hunt stuck in that thing. See, that's got to be like the best packing I've ever seen. If
oh,
you
you
got
don't know.
that, if
Yeah.
you got that shit in there.
Oh, you don't even know, Diablo. But you can't walk in it. You got to unpack it because it's all in there.
Every square inch counts.
Every square inch, yeah. Stuff hung from the rafters. Oh yeah, it's all in there.
Snap! A delivery, drink delivery.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
need a drink delivery.
Yeah, Hunters must be the best at Tetris. That's all I can say.
Yeah, you have to be
Oh,
because
no
we have so much stuff.
Yeah.
And
Dude,
just
I'm like the worst
rolling-
at Tetris.
rolling that, getting that fountain in there in 3 pieces. That was an ordeal in itself. Oh,
Yeah.
and the hanging tree that I made. That thing was massive. I had to cut the top off of that and put it in pieces. So that's gotta.
Yeah,
You don't
see,
even know.
I'm more like a smash kind of person. Like,
Yeah. See.
it'll fit. Shut the door. You know, so it's like then you wake up the next season and it's like smashed.
Man.
Yeah.
I
Oh
believe
shit! How did that happen?
So
Or
how'd
you
that
blame-
break?
Yeah, you blame it on somebody. Who put something in here? They weren't supposed to. You
Yeah.
broke this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything's
you were
all
gonna
busted.
say-
Hey, everything's all busted up. Then you blame your wife or husband for like one little tool that's in there.
Yeah.
It was this thing.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
messed everything
exactly what I
up.
was about to say. I'm like,
Yeah.
You were the one
this?
sticking Margaret up in the rafters and everything else, going here.
Yeah.
True that.
Yeah, it's overflowing into other areas now since that thing's full. So I'm gonna have to start moving stuff elsewhere or start selling some stuff off.
So you probably could
You know
sell.
what-
You probably could sell it and make some money off that because your props
Yeah.
are like right on spot. I mean, they're like perfect.
Thanks.
They're
Yeah,
awesome.
I had a couple orders for special orders, so I did that. That did keep me busy for a while. So
I was Sue. Honestly, I was expecting you to tell us that the fountain, has a permanent home, maybe in your backyard, left out.
Right.
if the weather here wasn't so terrible, I'm in Connecticut, and like we had over 3 feet of snow this year, and the ice and all that. It's tough, and if I can think of getting a harder coat. I mean, the hard coat works really good. You just got to have a lot of it to get it as strong as you really want it.
Man, don't leave that shit outside. Hey, don't let Jim talk you into no bullshit.
What? Yeah, it's because you want to come and get it from my backyard. I know. But,
Yeah, if you leave it out, it's much easier.
Steven, with your new house, do you still have storage issues, or
Steve?
Steve? My question was for you. Do you still have storage issues with your new place?
I do. It's kind of crazy because this house is twice as big as my other house, but there's much less storage here, which is why I built the storage shed. My one-story house, I could get into the attic from the garage, so it's super easy. Well, this attic's on the second story of the freaking house, and I'm not going to carry all my props upstairs and then up into the attic. And so I built a storage shed, and I actually, in the garage, just built I've been meaning to do a video on it, but I built I built some storage above the garage doors, and it's really awesome. It holds 9 tubs, and I'm gonna probably do 3 more of those. Try to get all that stuff off the ground, so eventually I can maybe do some more haunt in the garage at one point. So
is there like another prop that you really got your eye on that you wanting to tackle?
well, I just really need to finish the hearse. That's probably really
no hunter like is stuck on one thing though. There's like there's like I want to finish this. I gotta get this done. And you work on it. And you're like, wait, I'm gonna do this, and then you go over there and you mess with that. You know from watching my videos, I would always jump from prop to prop. But what's the other one?
Yeah, well, here's the thing though. I built a lot of stuff so fast, and I would get so anxious, and I didn't have any patience. So, I've gone back a lot of times fixing stuff that I didn't probably do the right way. So it is good to do things really good the first time, so you don't have to go back and the props don't deteriorate so fast. So, I mean, that's a tip for me to all those hunters out there. Take your time. And if you don't have the right stuff to make it, it's fine to cannibalize it and use the shit that you have laying around the garage. But if you have the ability to go buy the right stuff, it's better in the long run to get the right stuff. So.
Man, you just fucked me all up.
Shit. That's like Jose's motto right there.
Oh shit!
Grab whatever I can.
That's just like hackalicious, dude. It'll work. Get us working. Yeah.
Steve, I got a question from Mary Powell. What's the prop that you've made that you're the most proud of?
Oh, jeez. Probably the thing that's my favorite prop is my cauldron creep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to like it, right? I got a tattoo of it on my arm.
Yeah.
Nice.
That one I always liked. Like, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, I really like that. And then I think the favorite prop of all the people that come to the house is the crank ghost.
Real.
Yeah. Yeah, there's the cauldron creep.
Yeah, because I remember when I first started YouTube, you were like the king of YouTube, man. You were like the king of hunters. No matter where anything went to, they're like, oh, that's Steve. That's Yard Hunter 5. It's Yard Hunter 5. I mean, that's the only answer I ever got was Yard Hunter 5, man. Which was awesome. And then when I went to your YouTube channel, I'm like, holy shit, this guy's awesome. And
which brings up an interesting question. Did you kill the first 4 yard hunters, or?
I did. That's a good one, Brad.
That was awesome.
It is really good.
No,
I think he's been sitting on that one for a while.
He comes out of the corner with him. It's like that's why I love him.
The one thing that always sticks out in my mind, and you kind of made hint to it earlier, talking about how many props that you made. You were just bam, bam, bam. I mean, if there's one thing you could do is you could wake up in a couple days, open up YouTube, and you could count on Steve making another prop and have a video to watch. But the one thing that sticks in my mind is that whiteboard that you had. I mean, it was ridiculous. The list of items and props that you had on that whiteboard. And the fact is you would just be like, boom, there's another one going. You're just marking them off. You were like a madman for 1 year. I'm like, damn, that guy's crazy.
So you know how disappointed we were when you stopped.
Yeah.
like, damn you.
Dude, I even get shit from my family. Like my mom's like, you don't ever build props anymore. Jeez.
Wow. I think Mom's
Damn. I wish that was my case here.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I get can you please stop making more stuff? When is it gonna end?
Hey, and I will say also, like Brad said, 3 of the 4 little kids that that we have are also wussy and will not go into a haunt. Oh, Peyton.
Your free labor.
Yeah, Peyton, the little blonde, she's the only one. I mean, she can't wait to get in the haunt. Like, she was an actual haunt actor in the haunt when she was like 6 and wasn't scared of anything, and she's still not scared of anything. So if there's any of them that may be a haunter, it's going to be Peyton, and she's probably going to be my one because she wears black all the time, and she always wants to try to jump out and scare you. The other 3, they're like, oh, hell no. I'm like, hey, come into the, like right now, I mean, I set this up in the garage right here, and I needed Ava and Otto to come to the garage because I actually made Julie something for Mother's Day, and I needed to trace their hands on the back of it, right? And they're all like, you have that stuff in the garage. I don't want to go in there. I'm like, oh my God, it's a pumpkin and a skeleton.
That's so funny. That brings up my granddaughter. She's like, Papa, I need my bike. I'm like, your bike's right there. She's like, no, that's like 2 feet in the garage. I'm like, well, you grab it. She's like, no, Papa, I didn't grab it. She's like, no. You bring it out. You bring it out. I'm like, really?
I've been lucky myself because my boys, same thing. They've loved it since day one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at him. He's like, yeah.
Yeah, I saw him.
Patting his old shoulder.
Yeah, my daughter
Our heart is
won't help with it.
My favorite part of being an actor is scaring the crap out of the teenagers.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
wish my kids were like that.
Out of the, you like scaring the teenage girls the most, right, Ryan? That's the best, right? Yeah.
One thing that's also we have a lot in our neighborhood is Russian people.
Yeah.
And we had this one young girl that was in grade 8, Tasha, and she dressed up like a witch, and she obviously knew when the Russian people were coming because they were whispering to each other, and in Russian she would say to them, you're going to die, you're not going to make it out of here, we're going to kill you. And these people were falling on the ground, freaking out, because they couldn't believe that someone was speaking to them in their own tongue, like in Russian.
That's awesome.
And this one here is running up behind them with an axe trying to like get them, so...
Well, you know, that leads, kind of segues into a question that anyone can answer here from Lori Umdenstock. She said that Chris raised a good point earlier about, or a good question. How do people approach parents or people who think that you are devil worshippers or that what you're doing is evil? We've recently lost a main actor for such reason. So how do you deal with people who think that what you're doing is not just all fun and games? And anyone can answer that.
I know I want to try and get those 2 girls back. So this year what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over and show them my actual sick kids letter that shows them, giving us permission, and because we use it to get our donations for our chips that we hand out. And I'm going to show them how much money we raised last year. And I'm going to talk to them about that little girl, as you guys all know, Amaya, who had the heart transplant. And then hopefully they'll see we're good people. And that's just us. I can't speak for the rest of you, but that's us.
Right. I know for a fact that like my son and my mother are like super like thumpers, and which is nothing wrong with it, and that's fine. And that they never ever like to come through my haunt. They're like, no, that's like that's pagan, Dad. That's bad. That's bad. You're taking good people and dragging them into a bad environment and this and that. I say, no, son, you don't understand. I'm taking all the evil people that love this and having them donating to good causes. and he's like, no, it don't work that way. I said, yes, it does. It's like, and that's how I treat it. You know what I mean?
I personally believe we're in a very special demographic, and we understand how to not irritate them. And there's certain things we will clearly not put in our haunted attraction because
don't poke him with a stick.
Well, I mean, if at Transworld, if you guys saw that back one corner where it had the little bikini thing going on, That will never fly in our haunted house. Things like that, and let alone, I mean, if you put a priest in our woods, we're going to have some backlash to that. And, so we steer clear of certain things, but when actually acknowledging some people who've had some issues with our staff in the past, at the end of the day, it's people's personal decisions, and I can't force mine upon them. But I know we're not out there as devil worshippers, and we plead our case, and we're not going to force you to not see what you normally do.
Not that there's anything wrong with devil worshipping.
No, not at all. Don't get me wrong. What you do in your free time is all your own. What you do on our time is my concern.
And I actually have a couple of friends that are very religious and very into all that, but they still come and support. Actually, one of them is one that called the paper to have the paper come, and because she knows that it's just art. And I know mine right now isn't gory or anything like that, but in the past I've had other things that she's seen, and we've been really lucky. There hasn't been any, my neighbors know that, she's just the crazy one, so.
The first couple of years that we were open, when we first started out, as I said to you guys, we live in a predominantly Jewish neighborhood. Down at the end of a couple streets over is a synagogue. And the rabbi came by one day and knocked on our door, and he just said, I just want you to know that this is a predominantly Jewish neighborhood, and what you're doing is sacrilegious, and you shouldn't be doing that. You're sending the wrong messages, yada, yada, yada. So I just said to him, listen, you and your people can stay on the other side of the street. I don't come down and tell you guys what flowers to plant in your garden, and don't be telling you what to do. And what's funny about it is it backfired, because I guess he must have went and they had a service, and he told them all, stay away. It's kind of like Adam and Eve, don't bite the apple. Well, Christ, now they all come. They all want to see what it's about. Great.
Oh, yeah.
There's advertising right there.
Yeah.
That old man.
I think it's related to the same. I don't think it's got anything to do with religion or any of those things. It's like the same difference between two people who understand the difference between a joke and something that's serious, and people people don't like the idea that like this is imagination. When people walk in and see some scary stuff and that it's meant to be evil, they don't understand that it's in essence a joke. It's created for an effect.
It's pure entertainment. We're giving back to the community, and we're celebrating Halloween and letting them all just be festive and enjoy it. And for us, it's just a good old fashioned haunted house. Like you, Sue, we try not to go too bloody and gory. Yeah. We try to be more like the Disney Mansion, if you want to call it, because we tailor mostly to young families and kids. And last thing I want is people freaking out and running, because we don't have the typical guy with a chainsaw chasing people around and do anything like that.
I've always wanted to make that prop of the hanging guy that Thrash is. Well, due to similar friends, my daughter's friend's suicide, I won't pull anything in that has to do with anything like that.
Yeah, see, I won't do that one either.
So it's I draw the line at certain things, just out of respect for other people. As much as I think it's a cool prop and how they make it and everything, I couldn't bring myself to put that in somewhere.
See, that's where
it's a hard thing to do. That's a hard thing to do. There's always going to be an instance.
Michael, the Chipman, there, that's where people go, the adults, to get the real scare on, right, Michael?
Well, actually, we have similar things. One of the owners, actually, we are not allowed to put a single doll in our haunted attraction because of that. And I filled an entire dumpster from the Hex House with the doll in them. There's certain things we understand, we respect. It's a natural thing. She doesn't like dolls, and so we have no dolls in our haunted house. So we know that some people have certain things like that, but we will scare you. We don't have a ton of gore though. Rich is very old-fashioned. We just started getting more into the gore galore, and we're putting in a whole autopsy scene this year. But aside from that, these old-fashioned startle scares, drop panels, doors coming out. So we'd use a lot of stuff like that. We also use influences from society at the moment. Walking Dead was huge.
Yep.
So I have a very nice zombie scene outside that we trucked in some massive tires for. And then there was a show, American Horror Story Freak Show this year. It was pretty awesome. A couple of people made some really nice props, so we're going to have a scene that may or may not look like a certain clown character from that show.
Michael,
I'm not going to blatantly put a sign out that says it's half place, So.
Yeah.
Michael, I know a lot of haunters look down on inflatables in haunts, and I know, you said the owner doesn't like to have dolls. Have you considered inflatable dolls? Would that maybe pass into the?
No. There are a few close things, inflatable dolls. That's a good one.
Well, we have a serious question.
Was that a Becker comment right there? Come on now.
Jason Becker.
No, that was my own. But I have a question from Alan Hobbs for you, Michael.
Oh, shoot.
I have a question from Alan Hobbs. What aspect of haunting do you most enjoy, and what is a proud haunt moment for you?
Oh, great. You know what? The most proudest moment recently, you guys actually had the photo of it. You showed it a second. Me and Rich on top of the scissor lift inside of that haunt. Rich, most people, you're lucky if you get someone who gives them one good tidbit of information. I get to live and be around someone 7 days a week who's been doing this for 37 years. So every word out of that man's mouth, I mean, don't tell him I said this, but it's pretty much haunt gold. If you tell him that, it's going to go to his head. But, I mean, that moment where you claim something most people will never get an opportunity to do. Most pro haunters wish they had a haunted house donated to them or gotten in some form. And so being on the scissor lift with him after accomplishing that enormous of a task in that period of time and knowing the names that were attached to it, the respect for the people we got it from, and my respect for Rich, that is one of my more prouder moments. And then, what was the other part? I don't remember.
Inflatable?
Inflatables. I actually had storage wars happened. Someone actually showed up to our facility with inflatables. We just don't use them. I don't know if you guys. I'm going to say about 3 weeks ago there was a really good photo up on Honor's Hangout of a stuffed animal that was ripped open and it had like the guts showing and the face.
I never go to that.
It was a really good photo, and we're actually going to make a few of those. So there's certain things we do. I just know there's certain things that I don't push, and some great haunts. I went to Talon Falls this year. They had a really good vampire room, but I know if I built that vampire room in my demographic, no one would show up the next year. So. There's certain things you just know what to do and what not to do, unfortunately.
And just quickly from Alan as well, Michael, are you from Louisiana or a transplant for the haunt?
I'm a transplant. I'm from Long Island originally. I was living in Vermont for 10 years, trying to be a professional ski instructor. And this is my second season with Rich full-time down here. I'm a very blessed and fortunate soul. I live haunting every day of my life. It's just been a whirlwind of a ride, and I think everyone should be involved in it. And the knowledge. I feel like right now, going into my second year, this is my sophomore year of college, I truly feel every moment I get, whether it's being here, watching some videos online, or to the few moments. I can't wait, actually. I'm seeing Dark Hour going in July, so I can't wait to go see Alan's show. Just some of the stuff they talked about in the seminars that Ed and Jake did. I mean, we're getting ready to do a wall climbing. One of the things I'm adding is someone's going to be climbing the top set of walls this year. And someone on the Dark Hour staff, Jake, did a great view of their complete circular routes. I can't wait to see that in person, just to enjoy the other end of the knowledge that I got in person and see it working. Those are the key moments that I've gotten to take away, and those are the things I cherish deeply. I'm sitting here and you got Chris on the end. He's been haunting for 11 years. He started an association. It's great being able to be on a chat with people like that. And, there's a lot of talent out there. And just being able to hear a couple moments from every human being will bring you to your next step.
It's just crazy, isn't it? It's crazy.
It almost
engulfs you. It almost
I
engulfs you with the hunt craziness of it. Everybody.
The cocky way of saying it and the real, New York way of saying it is, I got it, you want it, and no, you can't come get it right now.
Don't worry about it.
I'm very lucky, and I again, I don't have a family, I don't have a girlfriend, I live haunting all my life, and every moment has gone into learning. I just got into mask making, so I'm trying to elevate my game. I'm adding myself to the makeup team this year. I've been taking a lot of lessons with airbrushing and listening to the people we brought in, and just overall grasping it. I feel one day I would hope to be blessed enough to run my own attraction, but I don't want to find myself in a position of not knowing something. And it's similar to being a home author. You know your layout, you know what you have, the size you're working with, and you're the one who sets up the electric. You set up your own props. You're talking with your actors. You people are doing your own show, and that's what I'm hoping to do one day. But in order to figure that out, I'm doing it on a larger level and learning it firsthand, and probably one of the hardest. If I would have known what I was signing up for, I wouldn't have gotten on that Amtrak train, let me tell you. But now I'm stuck, and it's been one hell of a ride ever since, and I'm just really fortunate to meet. I got to meet Alan for the first time. I met him up at Witch Mansion, and Alan mentioned that Professor Nightmare, is one of the reasons he got into haunting. So just to hear that, and then meet the professor himself and all these little tidbits. It was truly, I've gotten a chance to meet some very special people at some very special times around people that have made an impact on them, and hearing both sides of the coin. I don't even know if I could ever retain all this knowledge. I'm only one human.
Right. I mean, we definitely, we got some talented haunters here. Everybody has their place in the haunt world, and does incredible work, and it's like, man, it's like,
well,
it's amazing to see what all the haunters can do, and I'm like, it's just crazy. My first person I ever met was Steve, and I followed him like a little kid, and we all thought he was. I didn't think I know he was like the greatest thing on YouTube at the time. So it was like, every time you put a post up, you're like waiting. And now we got Facebook, and it's like you're seeing everybody's stuff up. Chris's stuff is totally amazing. Sue's putting amazing stuff up, and definitely we want to thank everybody for coming on the show and sharing your knowledge, and make sure that you guys go back and there's going to be a lot of questions Brad didn't have a chance to get to, and make sure you go back and answer them. But he's going to go over the prizes right now and who won them. So
can I just add one last thing?
Okay,
sure. To elaborate off the last thing I was saying, our makeup team has been making a whole bunch of different projects, and we see some of the burlap masks we've been doing. Aside from my great people, and I want to thank them if they're watching. If not, our next project is actually going to be making pumpkins from Jim's tutorial. I know it'll be the worst 3.5 hours of our lives, but we're going to make it through.
End of this thing.
And, it truly, at the end of the day, it's communities like this and the rest of the internet. I find that some people have felt that professional haunters put themselves on pedestals or some weird things, and I've never really looked at myself to be a professional recently. I know I'm very new, but I haven't earned the title, as I feel. So I'm still learning myself, and I think a lot of people have a lot to learn. And this is just a great thing. I mean, you guys have gotten a chance to see Rich and Chip recently, and a lot of that is because of the enthusiasm of the people who are here or watching at home. And it was an awesome pleasure being on the show, and I just wanted to share, that tidbit that you were going to have an official Jay Wall at the Fright Show.
I actually think that me, Brad, and Jim are like the most blessed people in the hunt industry, because we have the chance to meet not everyone, but we have a chance to see everybody. I think we're the most blessed people, because it's like, without having this show, we wouldn't be able to meet everybody in person. And when we go to conventions or everything else, it's like we meet them one on one, and it's like the most greatest thing in the whole world. I never want to give it up. It's like awesome.
I am jealous. You guys are going
And remember, our logo is copyrighted. So. And right before I announce the prize winners, I want to just quickly answer one last question that was posed to Chris or I, but I'm going to answer it. In the event of bad weather in Canada, do you have warm accommodations for the guests who are waiting? The answer is fuck no. If we have to stand out in the cold, they do too.
Yes! Yes!
So tonight's winners. First we have the winner of for Froggy's Fog. We have a gallon of Froggy's Fog, and from Facebook, the winner is Troy Scare Hollow. Next we have our Hauntopolis subscription, and this time the winner comes from YouTube, and the username is JohnJohn91111. Congratulations. And now we have 3 Sam Haynes downloads. So the first winner from Facebook is Victoria Wolf.
Hey,
The second from YouTube is Hills Horror Haunted House. And finally from Facebook, Kelly Marie. Congratulations, everybody.
Congratulations.
And Julie Rydell just wanted me to repeat to make sure that you contact her via Messenger on Facebook. Sometimes she's having struggle reaching the YouTube people, so contact her on Facebook if you heard your name tonight. Congratulations, everyone.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
All right. Well, we want to thank all the guests for coming on. We want to thank Brad and Jim for being our awesome hosts. And Steve wants to say one last thing.
Hold on. I don't want to say anything, but Ram wanted to say, stay spooky and stay toxic.
Yes!